what is the situation today? Because you have talked of what has happened before you came, when you came, up until now. So looking at 2022, is that say the situation? I would say having the same experience of people with little or no vision at all of what is going to happen in the future. People who think they are going to leave Italy, and for this reason they didn't know how to speak Italian. So they may have been here for like 20 years. If they have anything to do, they will still need somebody to interpret for them. And yet they will always be very fast to accuse Italian of being racist. I'm not saying that I know racist Italian. I've seen some myself, but that is not my focus. Generally, that is not my focus. No, I'm trying to look at what can be the positive part. I'm not here to change people. Okay. All right. Now, what is the situation today? Has anything changed, or is it still like it used to be?
Yeah, nature has its own way of controlling population. I learned this in economics. And the system has had its own way of controlling generation and their behaviors. So those days when we were all on sojourner and we were all cramped up, okay, there was no difference who had the sojourner for 1 year or 2 years. There was no kata sojourner, and we were all just classified at once. Okay. Then came the year 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 2010. American government, I don't know what happened, but to get visa to America from Italy was so easy. So people actually took visas and they went. They went, a lot of them. And most of them were those who were here initially, okay, those who came there in the 85s and stuff. And those, I can tell you safely that 80% of those guys were illiterates. So voluntarily leaving the place in those numbers actually reduced the noise making and that state of anarchy that was reigning at the time. All right. Those that remained, most of them still never went to school. In fact, then there wasn't this law by Salvini that to renew sojourner or even to make Italian passport, you have to have the language. No. So school was out of it. But gradually, with the arrival of church, because my church, Soul Clinic, was one of the main the pioneer churches in Verona. A few other churches came, and Church of Pentecost also came, broke out of these ones. Okay, so with the arrival of church, that people started, to live their let's call it not wayward life, but let me use just that word. When people started going to church and drop certain characters, okay, things started changing because there was a lot of confusion all over the place. People going to parties, getting accident and dying, and police will come, they take their driver's license, and the guy is from Burundi, he has Nigerian passport, he has Ghana driver's license. Yeah. A whole lot of confusion. So they took some of these licenses to embassies, among which was the Ghanaian embassy, for them to rectify. And then they found out that all those licenses were fake. So police started a crackdown and they arrested a bunch of them. That and church reduced the death rate because people were dying. I have friends that died out of, they go to parties as far as to Torino, Treviso, and they are coming. This is somebody that had never driven a car in his lifetime. And at that time too, you could bring your foreign license and convert it into Italian one. You understand? But before even the conversion, you had a grace period of, I think, 3 or 6 months to drive before you converted it. We abused that opportunity. Africans abused it big time until police came in and they made a serious crackdown. Okay. and eliminated all those ones, changed the laws. Now we don't even do driver's license in English. You have to do it in Italian. So the system will actually force you to learn the language. And because some will not want to learn that language, there are people who are here who are 40 years who don't drive. They can't drive because they don't have the driver's license. And you meet them in the community, you have to still interpret for them. And these are the same people who said that they will not stay long. Oh, after we are doing 5 years. Then it becomes 10 years. Oh, after I'm doing 2 more years, I'll go. I remember around the 2007-8 thereabout, there was a law that Bossy and Finney introduced that if you want to go back to Africa and settle, okay, you could leave your sojourner and they will actually give you the bulk of your contributions that you have done. Man, that was so enticing. People went. And bro, they went and they blew the money.
I'm interested in that story. So I want to believe that some of them come back.
No, yeah, they are here. They are here. They came back. Some through the desert, some through so many means. They came back. They blew the money. Okay, now you come and they deny you sojourner and you are claiming the Italian government is racist. No, you can't. Learn the language you will not learn. You have sojourner. Nobody's chasing you out. Stay, walk, and live your life. But at least be part of the system. You understand? Your children are going to school. They call you for a parents teachers meeting. You don't go. So if something happens in the school, everybody knows. You are the only person that doesn't know. Then they will bring up something up and you have to pay something. No, these people are racist. But what is the racism you're talking about? You know, a lot of those things we go through depends upon us. The lack of communication. People refuse, even now, people refuse to learn the language. Excuse me. People refuse to learn the language, and it's so sad. Things have changed though. It wasn't like before.
All right. Now you are a candidate in the commune election in Verona.
Yes.
Of course, somebody that have listened to your story up until this point would understand that. They understand why, no?
Yeah.
But I still want you to explain to us why did you decide to stand for election in the commune of Verona? Help us understand that. What is your vision?
I am somebody that wants to leave not only a mark, but I don't want to be somebody that passed through the system without leaving anything for the ones to follow us. And I've seen a lot of things, a lot of injustices. Like I was telling you yesterday, there are a lot of things that most foreigners go through. One, because they cannot communicate well. And the fact that they cannot communicate well, okay, but are at the same time insistent upon a right that they don't even know whether they have, makes it irritating to the person behind the desk, okay, to do the right thing. I will explain. You go to Common, for example, you are asking for certificado de residencia. For you to obtain that paper, they need to see your permiso de sojourno. So the woman says, "Mi favorisca el permiso de sojourno." Which one? Which permiso de sojourno be that one? No, no be common. I no get say I no get sojourno. I will get residence. No. She wants to have that thing to give you what you want. And because most don't understand that to do this, you have to do this one. The problem with most of our people is this one. We don't accept the fact that when they say bring A to get B, if you don't bring A, you never get B. That the problem lies here. Okay, I've had times that I have to explain to people in Kwesura, in Komuna, in almost everywhere about this simple fact. Let us understand. If you don't understand, we have a phone. Go to Google. Google it out. Must they ask me for my permission decision before I get a certificate de residence? It is there. You read it. But we don't inform ourselves. And because we don't inform ourselves, we think things that people say are what is happening. That is not what is happening. And we've made a whole lot of mess